First graders, it's Wednesday. It is raining outside. It's a good day to read a book. Chapter 4. Here we go. Stick Dog cannot fly a helicopter. Interesting. I've got it, said Mutt. He looked excited. They're called Frankfurters, right? Right, said Stick Dog. Okay, here's the plan, Mutt continued. We walk up to the guy. What's his name? Is it Pumpkinhead? Peter, said Stick Dog. Yeah, that's what I meant, Mutt nodded. And we say we're all from the same family. And we say our last name is Furter. Like, you're Stick Dog Furter, and I'm Mutt Furter, and we introduce Poo Poo Furter, Stripes Furter, and Karen Furter. Go on, Stick Dog said real slowly. It appeared he didn't like where this whole idea was going. Then, said Mutt, we tell Pumpkinhead, Peter, we say, hey, Peter, we're missing a member of our family. We desperately need to find him. We're so worried. And then Pumpkinhead says, Peter. Mutt shook his head back and forth. Right, Peter. Then Peter says, oh, no, that's terrible. What's his name? Stick Dog, Karen, Stripes, Poo Poo, and all stared at Mutt, but he didn't say anything. And? Stick Dog said finally. And, said Mutt, getting excited. We say Frank. Frankfurter. Get it? Frankfurter? Then we say, have you seen any Frankfurters around here, Pumpkinhead? And he says, boy, have I. I've seen about 50 Frankfurters right here in this cart, and since they're all members of your family, you should take them home with you. Stick Dog closed his eyes. Yeah, said Mutt. He was very excited. Isn't it great, right? It's great, said Stick Dog, trying to let him down easy. It's great in a sort of non-great way. Yeah. What do you mean? Asked Mutt, tilting his head a little to the left. Well, we don't really look like we're all from the same family, Stick Dog said, nodding his head toward each of them. It's hard for a Dalmatian, a Dachshund, a Poodle, a Mutt, and whatever I am, to be from the same family. Hello, Mutt said. Adoption. Ever heard of it? Stick Dog nodded his head. I have heard of it, yes. And that may explain all of us being from the same family, but that still doesn't explain how a rolled up piece of meat stuck in a folded up piece of bread is related to us. This seemed to suddenly make sense to Mutt. Not going to work? Oh, I'm not saying that at all, said Stick Dog, but because there is just a sliver of doubt about its feasibility, maybe we should listen to some other ideas too. Mutt nodded his head. Sounds reasonable. Never fear, declared Poo Poo. I know exactly how to get those Frankfurters. Let's hear it, said Stick Dog. And Karen, Stripes, and somewhat dejected Mutt all nodded in agreement. Well, you remember how we got those hamburgers at Picasso Park that one day? Poo Poo began. They all remembered because it was, of course, one of the best days of their entire lives. Yes, we remember, answered Stick Dog. How could we forget, said Karen, a little drool falling to the ground from the corner of her mouth. Now, that's really not all that disgusting because Karen is, after all, a dachshund, so the drool didn't have that far to fall. Now, if the drool was falling, say, from the corner of your mouth, that would be gross. Well, Poo Poo continued, we get a bunch more of those hamburgers, and we slowly saunter by Piddly Pants there. You mean Peter? Yeah, Peter. We saunter by Peter, eating those hamburgers real casual-like. Really enjoying them, you know. Groaning and moaning about how super tasty they are. Letting some of that meaty hamburger juice drip down our chins. Yeah, that's what we do. Started Stick Dog. Then he waited a minute and asked, why? Why? Yeah, why? Don't you see? Asked Poo Poo, sounding exasperated. Piddly Pants sells Frankfurters. Hamburgers are probably the natural enemy to someone who sells Frankfurters. If he sees that we're all enjoying a bunch of delicious hamburgers, he'll want to convince us that we're wrong. He'll want to convince us that Frankfurters are so much better. And to do that, he'll dish out Frankfurters to us by the dozen. We'll be eating Frankfurters for hours. Poo Poo? You don't have to say it, Stick Dog, said Poo Poo proudly. I know it's a great plan. You don't have to congratulate me or anything. We don't have any hamburgers, says Stick Dog. And if we did have hamburgers, we wouldn't really be worried about getting frankfurters. You know what I mean? And his name is Peter, not Piddly Pants. Poo Poo looked a little sad and a little disappointed when Stick Dog pointed out this flaw in his plan. Stick Dog saw this and added, "You know, Poo Poo, that's a really sophisticated plan you came up with. Using the hamburgers as a way to stir the jealousy instincts in a human has probably never been considered before. You are, no doubt, the only creature on the planet who could come up with it." Poo Poo lifted his head. A smile returned to his face. "I am quite unique, aren't I?" "Without question," said Stick Dog. And then he turned to the others. "Well, does anybody else have any other ideas?" "I do," said Stripes. "I do indeed." Stick Dog inhaled a great big breath and asked, "What is it?" Stripes smirked a little bit, smiling from one corner of her mouth. She was obviously very pleased with herself. "The first thing we need," said Stripes, "is a helicopter. Then..." "Stop right there," said Stick Dog. "Yes?" "Where are we going to get a helicopter?" When Stripes looked at Stick Dog, you could tell she thought Stick Dog wasn't very bright at all. "The helicopter store. Where else?" "There's no such place as a helicopter store," sighed Stick Dog. By this time, Stripes was already chattering ahead about her plan. "We take the helicopter and we fly it over to Patsy Puffin stuff over there." "His name's Peter." "Whatever," says Stripes. We hover over the helicopter over the We hover the helicopter over the Frankfurter cart. Then a couple of us get lowered down on a rope ladder from the open door of the helicopter. While Patsy Puffenstuff is getting totally blown away by the wind from the helicopter blades, we snatch all the Frankfurters we can grab. One of us pulls the others back up. We land the helicopter by Stick Dog's house and have the feast of a lifetime. Mutt, Karen, and Poo Poo were all nodding along in agreement with Stripes. And the more Stripes got excited, the more the three of them got excited. Yeah! By the time Stripes had provided the final details of her plan, she was jumping up and down in place. She yelled, "Off to the helicopter store! Follow me!" Poo Poo, Mutt, and Karen wheeled around to take off after her. "Stop!" yelled Stick Dog calmly. "Where are you going?" "The helicopter store," answered Mutt, skidding to a stop just after he had taken a quick few steps. The other dogs stopped too. "There's no such thing," said Stick Dog. "Sure there is," said Mutt, but he was starting to sound a little doubtful. He knew that Stick Dog was usually right about such things. "Where is it?" "Well," said Mutt, and then he paused for a moment. "I'm not positive, but Stripes knows." "Yeah, that's it, Stripes knows. We're all following Stripes." "What?" "Let's say there is such thing as a helicopter store," says Stick Dog. "Can you tell me where it is, Stripes? Where is it that you're running off to now?" "I'm not sure," answered Stripes. Then she gained her confidence back a little. "To the mall." "I bet there's a helicopter store at the mall. That's where you are going." "That's where we're going. You betcha." Notice how Stripes has dots. Okay, says Stick Dog. Let's go ahead and say there's such thing as a helicopter store. Okay. And let's assume that just such a store is at our local shopping mall. After all, that mall has about every other kind of store, right? So, why not a helicopter store? How much does a helicopter cost anyway? $1? Answers Stripes. $2 maybe. We can probably find that much change in the parking lot. I think it may cost a little more than that, but you know what? I never bought a helicopter before, so what do I know? Maybe they're having a big sale today, said Mutt, trying to help. Maybe so, says Stick Dog. So let's go ahead and say there is such a thing as a helicopter store. And let's say there is one at the mall. And let's say it costs $1 because of the big helicopter sale today. I have one question. Stripes closed her eyes. She really, really didn't want to know what Stick Dog's next question was. Yes? Do any of us know how to fly a helicopter? Stripes kicked at some dirt with her front left paw. Shoot, she said, and hung her head. If it wasn't for that one detail, says Stick Dog. Then Stripes lifted her head and started to smile a little to herself just for a moment before straightening her face again. I thought you knew how to fly a helicopter, Stick Dog. Stick Dog began to shake his head and speak, but he didn't get the chance because Stripes turned to the other 3 dogs and began speaking for herself. Forget it, you guys, she said, and sort of nodded a couple of times towards Stick Dog. The helicopter plan isn't going to work after all. I had everything all worked out, but Stick Dog doesn't know how to be a helicopter pilot. So the plan is ruined, thanks to him. But, began Stick Dog. But Stripes interrupted him again. No, she said. Don't worry about it, Stick Dog. You don't have to apologize to me. It's okay. I'm not mad at you for ruining most of my excellent plan with your lack of helicopter piloting skills. Oh, I am a little disappointed in you. That's true, but not mad. You're still my good friend. I do wish I could depend on you to do your part when it comes to such things. But it's okay. We'll get through it. Stick Dog just stared. And stared. Finally, he said, well, Stripes, I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything, says Stripes. It's okay. Thanks, says Stick Dog. And then he turned to Karen. You must have a plan, too. Is it a good plan? It's not a good plan. It's not even a great plan, said Karen. It's definitely the most extra spectacular, splendiferous Frankfurter snatching strategy of all time. Whew. Okay, Stick Dog said. Out with it then. It's so brilliant because it's so simple, Karen began, and started to pace in front of the other 4 dogs. We're going to walk right up to old Prickle Pop there and... His name is Peter, Stick Dog said. Yeah, that's what I said, replied Karen, never missing one of her little dachshund strides. Anyway, this marvelous plan is going to work for one reason. Greed. Greed? Asked Stick Dog. Greed, answered Karen. Then she did something rather odd. And let's face it, rather odd for this bunch of dogs is going to be pretty peculiar. Karen stopped pacing back and forth and said, watch this. Stick Dog, Poo Poo, Mutt, and Stripes all watched as Karen proceeded to drop down on the ground and tuck her little dachshund legs up close to her long tummy. And she curled her tail up underneath between her legs. Finally, she tucked her chin close to her chest, tried not to move her lips at all, and said, what am I? A dachshund who just forgot how to walk? Guessed Mutt. No. Here she is. Ooh, I love guessing games, said Poo Poo. You're a furry torpedo. No. Stripes walked a couple of circles around Karen, staring down and exclaiming at her the whole time. I think I got it. You're a gorilla who fell asleep wearing a dachshund costume. No, said Karen, feeling a little exasperated. Stick Dog, do you have a guess? Stick Dog did indeed have a guess. He wanted to say you were just the weirdest dog on the planet, but he didn't. He simply said, no, I don't have a guess. I give up. What are you? Duh, said Karen, lifting her little chin up, slightly looking at herself. I'm a Frankfurter. See the color, the shape, everything? Okay, says Stick Dog. You're an awfully large Frankfurter, by the way, but let's try and see past that. Let's say everybody, including Peter, believes you are a Frankfurter. What's the rest of your plan after you're done imitating a Frankfurter? Karen looked at Stick Dog like his brain had just turned into a rawhide chew. She sighed. Do I really have to explain it? It's so simple. Yes, says Stick Dog. Please explain it. When Prickle Pop... Peter, corrected Stick Dog. Right, that's what I said, said Karen. When he sees me, he's going to think that he hit the jackpot. I'll be the world record biggest Frankfurter he's ever seen. He'll do anything to have me. Think about it. His whole world revolves around Frankfurters. And when he sees me, his greed will overtake him. He'll do anything to get me. You can trade me in for all the other Frankfurters. They just looked at Karen, so she continued with her plan. After you get those Frankfurters from the cart, he'll put me down to admire me. He'll think he is in some crazy, beautiful dream with the world's largest, most magnificent Frankfurter right there for him to have and hold. Like this. What then? What will you do when Prickle Pop? Stick Dog said. Then he stopped He looked down at the ground and shook his head a couple of times before looking back up. I mean, Peter, what will you do when Peter is admiring you? That's easy, said Karen. There was a clear sense of superiority in her voice. I'll pop out my legs and run all the way to your pipe. Stick Dog, save some frankfurters for me. Yeah, baby. Brilliant plan, huh? Stick Dog had grown more and more impatient, and his stomach had grown more and more grumbly. He usually tried to be polite when one of his friends had a plan that was a little, not so good. But now, he had just enough. When was the last time you had enough? I'll tell you mine. I was taking out the garbage. Do you have to take out the garbage? Well, I do. It was one of those big white plastic stretchy bags from the kitchen garbage can. It had a bunch of old food and paper and old cleaning rags in it. And my mom had just dumped all the dust and yuck from the vacuum cleaner in there. You know that big gray clump of grossness that has dust and hair and shoe mud all swirled around inside like a tornado? The bag was full of it, along with the other garbage stuff. So I'm taking it out to the end of the driveway, right? Oh, it's really heavy this time. Now, I'm pretty strong. I can break a stick in half right over my knee. How about that? Yeah, it's true. Totally true. Anyway, I'm strong. But that garbage bag was real heavy. So I had to sort of drag it to the can instead of carry it. See where this is going? And about halfway down the driveway, it started tearing. Only I didn't know it started tearing. So by the time I got to the can, most of the garbage was spread out behind me in a line of the driveway. And no, I didn't happen to notice the bag was getting lighter. So please don't ask. Well, I had to go pick up all that filth and yuck with my hands. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until it was all back in the bag. And I was so mad that I kicked the bag. All of the dust and hair from the vacuum cleaner came poofing out in a great big cloud of terribleness right onto my face. That was the last time I had enough. I'm going to stop right there. This is not the end of the chapter, but there's like another 20 pages, which is going to make like a 30-minute video. We're right at like 17 minutes right now, so I'm going to stop right at the poof where he's talking about the last time he had enough. And I wonder if Stick Dog has had enough of all of the other dogs' plans. We'll find out tomorrow. It's raining today. Hopefully you have some indoor projects you can work on. Maybe some cleaning, some reading. If you got your packet, I know you're working on that, right? Right? Yes, I'm going to clean today. Not going to do any yard work because it's raining out there. Let's see. I might read a personal book, like a book for myself that I like that's not like a kid's book, even though I am enjoying this book, though. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I might read one of my own books just because it's a good day to read, do some cleaning, might play some video games, might watch a movie. Not sure. Got some emailing to do. And yeah, we have our Zoom meeting tomorrow night. I'm emailing your parents today with details about that Zoom meeting, okay? Hopefully I will see you tomorrow for this read aloud and then at the Zoom, okay? Have a good Wednesday.